All right, just finished a workout, so if I'm out of breath, it's not because I'm out of shape. I'm absolutely getting in shape. I haven't had this much drive, and I haven't been on a mission like this, and I haven't really, seriously, for real, knuckled down like this for many, 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 many years. I'm going to fucking say since before I ever even knew what YouTube was. Well, yeah, probably. Probably. With all the cardio and shit, yeah. I saw a brother commented on a video that you can't OD on hormones. What? Bro. It depends on how you define OD. How are you defining OD? What quantifies as OD? See, I use an if not but for prong when I'm trying to figure shit like that out or thinking about or considering that. If not but for doing 10 grams of test that was this example. You could do 10 grams of test and it's not going to kill you. Yeah, brother, it's going to kill you. Look, it's your life, it's in your hands. I would beg you not to do it, but it's a free world, free country. You do what you want to do. You run 10 grams, you're going to fuck yourself up. You're going to fuck yourself up. I don't see you getting away from it. I don't see you coming out unscathed. I see no one coming out unscathed. I think that you're overestimating the amount of gear that some of these guys that were pros and were big and had a career and came out of it, and now they're in good shape and they're healthy and they're not carrying an excessive amount of weight anymore. And then the jury's still out. If they die, if they make it to 70, that's not a bad run, but if not but for, would they have made it to 80, 90, 100? And do they want to be 80, 90, 100? Do you? But if you're going to, for the most part, if you get in and out young, you can put your foot on the gas a good bit. If you're otherwise healthy, if you already you're not predisposed to a whole plethora of problems, more than you can list and name, more than I can think of to name. If you're already genetically predisposed, you're a dead man. You might as well be. Yeah. And what do I mean by that? Well, look at these guys that bang their head against a tree all the time. They just keep beating a dead horse. More and more and more and more gear because they think, well, that's what these guys must be doing because they're so much bigger than me. But they don't understand they don't have the receptors, they don't have the genetics. And I'm sorry, man, I know that burns people's balls, but that's the fucking truth. When you see some of these dudes that have, come on the internet and made a big splash in a small pond because they're showing injections and they're taking these crazy amounts and everything they're doing is fucked up. It's not hygienic, it's not clean, And they're still not big. They're still not big. They're still only mediocre. If you are going to take your life in your hands to that extent and take all kind of experimental shit, stuff they don't even know about, and as if test is not enough to produce those physiques, yeah, it is. It is if everything else was right. If not but for your poor fucking nutrition. What you think is good, but it's not. If not but for your shitty training, what you think is good, but it's not. Unless you're going to admit that your genetics are what's at fault. And then how do you compensate for that? If you only have X number of receptors, how does taking more gear? If your receptor's already loaded up, you just don't have the receptors, homeboy. Taking more gear isn't the answer. Then you have more side effects you might not be able to readily see from the, externally. You're not going to take even 5 grams of gear without fucking up your hematocrit level. You fucking up your hematocrit level. You're not gonna, we used to take Anadrol back in the day because it fucked up our hematocrit level. It jacked it up. And we liked that because you put, 6.5 pints of blood in a body that had 5.5 pints in it, you're going to look damn full. Damn full. It's a desired effect. I'm not talking about all water and shit like that. Talking about hematocrit, cranking that shit up, cranking that fucking volume up. But there's a price for that. Your heart is not an industrial performing piece of equipment. It's not made to pump that. Do you think if say that I have average man, which I'm bigger than that, but average guy, I think 175 or something like that, right? He's got, I think they say 5 pints or 5.5 pints of blood. If he cranks his shit up to 6 pints, 6.5 pints of blood, everything else being equal, do you think that that's going to put more wear and tear in his heart than if he just left things alone and stayed at 5.5 pints of blood? Yeah, you'd have to be foolish to think otherwise. Of course it is. Of course it is. You're running it harder, you're going to wear it out sooner. Fucking kidney failure, kidney problems. All these guys, oh, it's genetic, it's genetic. You may have been predisposed, but then when you crank up the blood pressure, you crank up the hematocrit, you're cranking up the blood pressure. Don't care what anybody says. Crank up the blood pressure, and a high protein diet, that's a recipe for kidney failure. You're pushing that shit right through the kidneys. You're pushing it into the kidneys. If you're not down with what I'm telling you, if a light bulb didn't just go off, then you don't know what you think you know. If I have to explain more, you don't know what you think you know. So, the coroner's report, it's going to say, heart failure, you had a blood clot, maybe you had an aneurysm, maybe you had a stroke, cardiopulmonary embolism, very popular thing now, or kidney failure, or liver failure. Your liver's pretty tough though and durable. Kidneys, not so much. Or kidney failure or something. Whatever it's going to say, whatever the end result of why it killed you. It's not going to say testosterone abuse or anabolic abuse or hormonal abuse or no, but if not but for. Right? If you're in a car accident, airbag doesn't deploy. You crash into something head on. You do enough internal damage. You slice your spleen open or whatever, you bleed out and you die before they can help you. What killed you? Well, technically, your spleen was ruptured from an accident, but if not but for being in the accident, if not but for the airbag's failure, if not but for. Do you understand? With gear, it's even easier to understand. So don't be crazy. You know what I mean? This is something that just to feel like you're right, you're risking your life. And you want to talk about GH? The reason that we stop producing that shit as we get older, it dwindles down to almost fucking nothing. A little bit can be a good thing, but you know what? Why do you think some of these old timers that know their shit, Kevin Levrone, Flex Wheeler, believe it or not, when these guys came back out of retirement or second go around, I know for a fact Kevin Levrone got full body scans and all that shit done. What do you think he did that shit for? Because if you had even, we all have abnormal cells, period, not blood cells, excuse me. Just got done working out, lightheaded, got to drink some more water. We all have abnormal cells in our body, and that, cancerous cells, but they have to be activated for it to be really like cancer, okay? If not but for, all right? As far as the GH, like I was getting to, you could have small fucking benign little tumor somewhere that you'll never even know exists. That's why I'm sure that's part of why Kevin got the full body scan before he cranked back up. You got some kind of little fucking tumor or little abnormality that would never be a problem in 70, 80, 90 years of life. Crank up that growth after your body stopped making it. As an older person, you crank that shit up, guess what? Everything grows. That tumor fucking grows. Yeah. All right. So, I could go on and on and on about heart problems, about all kinds of fucking shit. But if that's not enough, if you want to believe your own or everybody else's bullshit, go ahead and believe it. But I would hope to hell that you're not foolish enough to try to rely on that to where you're actually putting your life at stake, where you're actually gambling it with your life. And you may get in, you may get out, and then you still may have an early departure or have health problems and all. That you'll never know, if not but for. Right? All right, guys, that's it. Use this fucking head. Use that 3-pound brain for something. Don't just be another monkey, right? Being a gorilla is awesome. Being a silverback is even better if you ask me. It's my second shot, second go-around in life as an older man. Silverback. I know I got some motherfucking silverbacks out there. I'm going to come up with a new shirt for that, too. A new gorilla with a call Silverback Edition. Yep. Don't just be some kind of fucking monkey running around with that little brain up there, jumping down out of trees and just being a general nuisance and hanging by your tail. Use this big ass 3-pound brain. Yep. Out of here.